Welcome to the toy box. Now, as promised, I said I was going to do an Aquarius video, a special Aquarius video. So, bitch, here I am. So, I just got done venting to, my friends and whatever the case may be, and it just got me thinking, like, I really want to do my Aquarius video. So, first and foremost, I'm gonna put it up, on the screen, but if your sun is not in, if your sun is in Aquarius, so let me reiterate, if you have a sun in Aquarius, you are not in Aquarius. It's a very, very hard pill to swallow, but you're not in Aquarius. I feel like some people are, I don't know, I don't think people saw my video. So if you're reading this, let's just, what I'm saying. So how to know, number one, if you're a real Aquarius. Well, I don't want to say it like that, but how to know if you're a real Aquarius. So basically, if you have your first house, your ascendant, so your first house and your ascendant sign is the same thing as your rising sign. So so if somebody says like, what's your rising sign, or what's your first house, or what's your ascendant, that's basically what it is. It's the first house. So anyways, so what it's like to, I'm going to do like 5 things what it's like to be an Aquarius, and what we actually go through, like, like the myths and stuff like, that, and whatever the case, hold on. Okay, so first things first, we are extremely mental, meaning our thoughts, um, are kind of like everything. So if you so if you're a water sign, um, you probably feel emotions a lot. Like, your feelings are probably, everything that you rely on. So that's kind of basically the same thing when it comes to Aquarius, except for we use our cerebral energy. So, and then a lot of people might be like, well, what does that even mean? And basically just means that when we think about stuff, it kind of like, not forms, but it kind of like lets us know, what, should I get in this car today? Should I get in that car? So instead of using our gut feelings a lot, or using, we use our cerebral, and it's intense. You know what I'm saying? There's times where I barely even have time to like really think to myself and really be, um, not using, but unfortunately, it's kind of like 90% of like how we live. Um, Number 2, a myth. So one of the really big myths is that Aquariuses are not emotional at all. We're unemotional, and the reason why, some people look like certain celebrities, like some people might be like, no, you don't, but I feel like I look like Megan. I feel like I look like Kesh, and I feel like I look like Megan Thee Stallion a little bit. Um, and actually, they are both Gemini risings, so they're Geminis. So that's kind of like why you can kind of see it in us, in me. Um, so those are real Gemini. She's A lot of people are gonna be like, no, she's an Aquarius. Her sun sign is an Aquarius, but she's a Gemini. But I'll like the sun sign. I'll go into sun sign a lot later because we're all still kind of figuring it out. So, but anyway, so that's one of the myths, is that we're unemotional. We don't feel emotions. What the truth is that Aquarius is, we have a really hard time, not even just expressing ourselves, but if our wall does not naturally come down, like, we are the type of people, we won't, it won't come down. Like, I've tried so hard sometimes in therapy and stuff like that. I'm not crazy. um, just to be like you, like just to express myself. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's just not. So that's probably why a lot of people say that Aquariuses are emotional. But anyway, show off my little side. It's cute. So, um, what? So another truth about being an Aquarius is that we are creative in a way that's not normal. So I feel like a lot of people take a lot of inspiration from Aquariuses, and a lot of people have seen like Aquarius's dress. Gemini's too. I feel like Gemini's and Aquariuses, they have a very Gemini are mostly more dark. Like Lady Gaga's a Gemini rising. I don't know. Actually, I don't even know if she's a Gemini rising, but from what I read, she's a Gemini rising. But anyway, so another myth about us is that what's a myth about us? What did I read? We're freedom loving. So real Aquariuses. So what happened was somebody who had a sun in like Libra or Aquarius, their rising sign was probably a Sagittarius. Um, so Sagittariuses are more like the ones who don't like to be controlled. Don't they like freedom and all that kind of stuff. And that's probably where they got it from. Because me, it's not that I like freedom, but I'm not like freedom loving. So it's not an absolute most to me. Like I don't need to like I can be in a room full of people and it'd be okay. Like I don't need to be on my own independently. Like we're not that independent. So I feel like that's definitely like one of the huge myth that people have a lot about Aquariuses. Um, another truth, actually a myth about Aquarius is that we are like this. I feel like a lot of people want to be an air sign because they feel like air signs are like the ones who are social, the ones who have creative, or the creative ones, the ones that they tie that in with what it what it is. And then you have people who, I don't know, that's just a really really big myth. um, we are we're really highly creative, um, but we're not trying to be, because like when it comes like, okay, so think about it. Geminis and Libras are more, it depends with Libra, but usually a lot of like Libra risings, which are Libras, and a lot of Geminis, they kind of can deal with the spotlight a little bit. They're more extroverted. um, but when it comes to like Aquarius, I feel like we're, especially myself, I'm way more introverted. I'm like, I like people who don't mess with my energy. Like, and I feel like a lot of people who are narcissistic, they love that. You know what I'm saying? They love Aquariuses because Aquariuses we don't bother people, And I feel like narcissists are people who engage narcissism. Let me just like